no question, no question. Hey man, we have a big program tomorrow. What happened? Where am I at? Man, I lost you, brothers. You still there? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, got a big program tomorrow over at the Ben Franklin School. Hope everybody will come out and support us for the Juneteenth celebration and all that good stuff. I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But let's check in with Brother Neil, man. What's been going on?
Yeah, hey, Nate, been a lot of issues with family stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's
Well, God
what.
bless you on that one, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can only imagine. Yeah, everybody okay though?
yeah. Everybody's okay now.
That's good.
I had my daughter going through domestic violence issues.
Oh man, okay. Brother, that's let me shut this door here for a minute so we can wrap. Wow. Hmm. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, man. Sheesh. That's this kind of stuff that, all families have to go through it every now and
Yeah,
then, somewhere, down the line. And a lot of times it just has you to say to yourself, over what? I mean, sometimes it's nothing big and sometimes it's mighty big. Yeah, but you survived it. Everybody surviving it.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
good.
it's it's solved now. She had to go to court and all that kind of stuff had to go down, and
Oh man.
person had to get removed from the house and all. So it's been a lot of
Mhm.
and there's kids involved and everything.
Oh man. Anybody has a daughter, son too, for that matter, but especially a daughter, man. That's the thing you always fear, that they get involved with some knucklehead that don't quite got it together.
All
You
right.
feel like you got to go domestic violence, and it can be something real small, but it's all about power, domination, and hurting people. You know, Tish, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. And then, like you said, kids involved too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, sorry to hear that, brother. Yeah. And then it's never just the two that are involved. It's like you said, the whole family. I'm sure you had to
Yeah.
be
Family,
part of
man.
that. Yeah,
Crazy.
man. Good gracious. Well, we're gonna keep you in prayer, brother, for that one. Because the other thing is, you think it's over, and then some people just do dumb stuff, keep it going,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, so yep. Where do I know? One of the blessings was to have, of course, I had it in my own family as well, but one of my blessings was to be able to work with the judge here by the name of Janine Turgeon. And she got me involved with what's called parenting coordinating. And man, oh man, the parents would break up, go their own way supposedly, but there would be a child involved. So now they had to deal with each other because of the child. And, they would just go ballistic on each other and all kinds of nonsense. And then they'd send them to me to see whether or not I could help them coordinate, okay, who's going to pick up the child when and where's the kid going to stay over the weekend and all that kind of stuff. And you would think two people could work it out on their own, but nope, it doesn't work that way. And then when there's domestic violence too, now, yeah. So, but that's also where the writers come in, man. We gotta continue to write and talk about this kind of stuff, to give people hope, you know.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. 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 I think I was Queenie was when her she was talking about the mental health.
Mm,
Yeah. And
mhm.
that's important. That's a very important issue as well.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Amen.
And writers
Yeah.
need to, write about those type of things, incorporate those type of things in their stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and you would think that we would learn as a society to get better. Maybe it has gotten better over the years. I don't know, but sometimes you stick with the news. It doesn't seem like it got any better, you know. Um, and so many guys, man. I remember I used to do, but not a long period of time, but a year or two. they got involved with domestic violence here, and there was a group, and the guy was kind of running it by himself. It was sanctioned by the county. And so they asked me if I would be willing to go in and, kind of, do a little assisting with this thing. I go in there, man, and yeah, so many dudes coming in. I'm talking about from all walks of life. Guys who were restaurant owners to, high officials to everything else under the sun, dudes who didn't even have a job, whatever. And they had to pay $45 every time they came in every week. And they had to go extra amount of weeks. And it was like a 3 to 4 hour session. And it was serious, man. I mean, these guys, stuff they had done. And this was sort of I guess you could call it like a lifeline for these guys, because they didn't go to prison if they did this program. They may have had a little jail time at the county, and then, they had to go to this program and show progress. They, of course, were on probation, all that. Some of them got it, some of them didn't, just that bottom line. Yeah. Bottom line, man, So, anyhow. Writing, man, how are you doing as far as you were talking, you had a target date for your book coming out, either what, September,
Yeah,
October, or
it's gonna be August now.
good.
I'm gonna release it in August, man. So yeah, looking at around the first part of August.
Okay, all right. That's good stuff, man. Sooner the better as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
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 like to see you get it done.
yeah.
In fact, that little project I'm working on as well, hopefully will be out relatively soon. It'll be out before the year is up. I'm just sort of dragging my feet with it, and finally got it to the point where I think we're ready to do something, and we'll see. But yeah, we just got to keep moving forward, man. Keep it going. And your stuff is so tight, the storytelling is so good, man. So just keep rocking it, brother. Keep rocking it. Yeah. Did you did apply for that? You were applying for some kind of contest.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
in. I submitted it, and
okay.
so
Okay.
September 1st is when we know.
Good.
They announced the winners on September 1st.
All right. All right. Well, we keep our fingers crossed for you, brother. Not that you have never won before, but you have. You know? Yeah, so it's let's keep it
Yeah.
going.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you're doing with these contests, it's subjective. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
people
You
things.
never know who the judges are in a given year, right?
Right. Yeah. So, win or lose, you know, you can't get too high, you get too low, win or lose. Um, but the main thing is that, you want to get your word out there and your book out there. And
That's the main thing. That's it right there. Yep. And you want to stay relevant and all
right.
that good stuff. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that I need to I'm trying to think of the name, sister's name. His last name was Carmen. And I think it was Isha Carmen. I believe that's how she pronounced it. I lived here in Harrisburg, and she ended up teaching down at Philadelphia Community College. I mean, she was a prolific writer, man, poetry wise. I don't think she ever did short stories and stuff, but she did poetry. And she had this thing where she sent out her poetry every single Friday. If she didn't get to that mailbox, she'd almost have a breakdown because, she would write all throughout the week. She'd send her stuff out, all kinds of contests, all kinds of publications and all that. And she was just so diligent about it. And so anyhow, kind of gave me that spark too, got me going a little bit, and then I've kind of slacked off big time. But I always admire people who, really kind of put themselves out there. Because you're going to be an author, you might as well be an author. Get it done. Yeah, get it done. So I have talked to this brother, and I wanted to get down to see him tonight, but it didn't happen because he had to be here, of course, and then my job just went overtime. But we're talking about trying to save this gallery, man, because it's a beautiful art gallery, black art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this is my first time in there about 2 weeks ago. And so anyhow, we're trying to have some poetry readings there. But he has a setup where we should be able to still do Facebook Live and Zoom the way we're doing it now, and also do live the live readings. So I'm looking forward to that, man. It sounds real promising. Problem is he hasn't had much flow through there, and he has to make a decision next month or two here what's it's gonna happen. But when I walked in, man, it just took your breath away, man. I mean, the artwork is just out of sight, and I had no idea that many contributing artists in there. They come from all over. It ain't just a Harrisburg thing. I mean, you got some of the best. And whoever framed them the way they did and then put them up beside the walls. Everywhere you look, there's a painting, just incredible. So I think it'll be a nice setting for us, and if we can do something to help that brother, and he can help us, it could be a win-win. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But either way, shape or form, if that doesn't fly, we're going to be doing some in-person things anyhow, still doing it like we're doing it now. So yeah, all that's going to take place. Yeah. Anything popping for Juneteenth down your way?
I'm sure that it is, man. I haven't been in touch. I know there's stuff going on. I don't I really don't know what is. My ear has been in the community as far as what's going on, but I know there's something going on. It's a lot of things happening in High Point for blacks.
All right.
So yeah, I know this.
I got to tune into the High Point sometimes and just figure out, yeah, because I know sometimes it's, just a city I keep hearing about, of course, because of you, but I've never been to High Point, as far as I know. And I bet you there's a lot of hidden gems there, man,
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of hidden gems. Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
doubt that. My wife and I, that's one thing we've always enjoyed, going to these places that you've never been to before and then find out where, especially Black history kinds of things, are. If there's a museum, if there's a play or there's an organization or something like that. And we've always been pretty fortunate to pop up with something, and we get ready to come down your way. In fact, we're going on a tour. When is that? July the 14th, we kick out of here. That's a Sunday. And we go for a whole week. We come back the following Sunday. We're going to, I got that itinerary somewhere, but anyhow, we're going to hit, all the places Martin Luther King, kind of did his thing, and Edmund Pettus Bridge, the church they bombed the, 15th Street Baptist Church. And then a lot of people who were alive at those times, we'll be meeting with those folks. And a lot of small places I've never heard of too. We're going to be going to those places and hearing about the significant roles that they played during the civil rights movement, So it's going to be, and we're going to be on a bus and, sleeping overnight in all these different hotels. They did it a year ago. I think, yeah, about a year ago they did it, or two. And Wendy Nocheone, she went on the tour, and she was the one that told me about it. So we signed up for it. This, it's a 2-year program. And man, we're in the midst of the first year now. It's been dynamite. It's been fantastic. The writers are fantastic that they bring in, and the research they do, it's just incredible, man. So we're looking forward to it, see what it's all about. I know it's gonna be a challenge to be on that bus all that time, but you know what though? The stops sound like it's gonna be worth it. Yeah, so the Wendy said it was. Yeah, Wendy said it was. So that's another person we haven't seen in a while, Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy's a real deep sister, man. She touched a lot. Yeah, she's really deep, man.
Really, really excellent writer, dynamic personality. Yeah, so yeah, I know she's, looking at, I just acted as one of her references for a position, and I heard that she got the position, so that's good. I haven't talked to her yet, but glad to hear she got that. They were high up one or two, really skilled, man, really skilled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, indeed. I got an article.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah,
something
that tour going on with the King, that should be really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's, everyone talked about it. It was 12 churches involved. They started, about 2-3 years ago. And so they had their first cohort through Messiah University, which is like a Christian college up this way, Christian University. And we have a brother by the name of Drew Hart, outstanding writer, man, put together a number of books, young brother. And then you got a white guy by the name of Ian Smith, and excellent writer. Both of these guys are just dynamite dudes. And they came with this concept. And then they got other people involved. And they got like a $1.5 million grant to do this for 5 years. So the first, we have two-year cohorts here. I don't know what it's gonna do after we're done. They're gonna finish out just the five or, go after some more monies, whatever, but it's been good. Conversation's been good. The writers that they bring in has been good. But it's not easy talk because, you're talking about race relations and they got six white churches, six black churches, and, we're supposed to be learning, from one another, but it's been hard hitting, man. They don't pull any punches. They did a thing. The first thing we did was thing about the Carlisle School and the way they treated the Indian population and how they try to make them into white men. And there's a white couple from Dickinson University, a husband and wife team. They're the ones that did the research and wrote the books. And they said, you gotta, it's unbelievable what they did to the Indians. Then they, of course, talk about African Americans, and that just takes it to a whole different level in terms of the stuff. And anytime you hear about some of these things, they make it almost cartoonish, or they make it seem like it was bad, but not that bad. Man, that stuff was brutal, brother. And for so many people wanting to give up on us, oh man, you don't play the race card. Are you kidding me? I mean, there's no card to be played. This is real life. A lot of that stuff is still going down, man. Still going
Yeah,
down. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it really is. Yeah. But
yeah,
it's we can't be bitter about it, but we can't be untruthful about it either. You know, Bitter's not gonna do anything for us, but being educated, being aware of, being concerned with, not sliding back like I think your boy Trump wants us to do. Back to the old days. Come on now. You know, yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's too many blacks, man. That's supporting this guy, man.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
That's a problem I really have, and it's really ridiculous, man.
It's
Some of these
sickening, man.
some of
It
these
is
black
absolutely
people,
sickening. Yeah.
some of these influential black people, and black people who have platforms, you know, supporting
Mhm,
this guy,
mhm.
and it's
They want something from me, man. I mean, the thing is that they're thinking, individually. I mean, look at the guy like Clarence Thomas. You see what they just did, man? They just voted to outlaw the bill that said you can't have these bump rifles.
yeah,
With the thing. This guy who created the thing, man, made millions overnight, and then he did a demonstration. They said, well, when you pull the trigger, it just shoots one bullet. Yeah, that's true. But if you pull the trigger and hold it, it shoots like a machine gun. And he was demonstrating the darn thing. And they said, well, it only shoots 600 rounds a minute, or whatever seconds it was. They said a real machine gun shoots 900 rounds. So the Supreme Court decided that it wasn't a real machine gun because it only shot 600 rounds. Can you imagine shooting 600 rounds in a minute? How many
yeah.
people you can kill?
Checkmate.
Come
I mean, that's
on,
what
man.
they are, man. I mean, all this is just, corruption, and
Yeah,
man, it's just all being revealed and exposed, man. It's just
that's
all
right.
out there. I mean, it's all out there for everyone to see. It's all uncovered. Like it's like whatever you do in the dark, come in the light. I mean, God is revealing
Hmm.
everything for us to see. But there's a whole bunch of people still don't see it, man. They still ain't paying attention. They ain't paying attention, man.
No, they don't want to see it.
They aren't. I mean,
Mhm.
it's too many. It's too many black people, man, of
Mhm.
influence that still is speaking against Biden, and and
I know.
speaking against
Stupid.
Biden, and I mean you supporting Trump.
Uh, if you don't like Biden, okay, but you cannot. How do you like? I mean, this guy got convicted, and they're making it sound like, oh, it's no big deal. No, what was it? 30 something charges this dude got convicted with,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
34
34
felonies.
charges. It's
I
like,
mean, that's
brother,
all.
yeah. And no, they got a jury that was selected by both sides, prosecutors and the
Right.
um defenders, but the defense. The dudes did their due diligence, sat there, listened to all that nonsense for all those days, and then they made their decision. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be done? You know, this guy, he runs out there, he's talking all this nonsense. You have more Republican dudes like McConnell and all them. They just had a meeting with the dude yesterday.
Right.
They talked about him like a dog. They showed what's her name, the one that was running against him, the female, and she, oh, he's this, he's that, and all of a sudden now she's endorsing the dude. What's her name? She was a UN uh You and secretary,
Oh,
not secretary. What do you call it?
the one
Delegate, whatever they call it.
who ran against it. What's his name? I don't. Yeah, I can't think.
Yeah, yeah. In the primaries, she ran against him, and
Right,
he was beating the crap out of her. But
yeah, right,
she
and
she,
all that.
she
So they,
spoke
I
out
mean,
against.
it's they all in. I mean, it's
Uh,
it's. I mean, it's all like I said. They all about themselves and
yeah.
power, and they trying to get. They want to be able to get his voters when he's no longer around.
Hmm.
You know that kind. I mean, it's just what it is. It's just corrupt, man. It's just a corrupt. It's corrupt, man.
It's
And this
absolutely correct.
place
And
has
then the
been
brother's
corrupt
named
for a long
Scott.
time, and it's
Mm.
starting to just come out, man.
Yeah,
It's just all out. It's out there,
it's out
and
there.
it's out there, man. And it's in everybody's face, and ain't
Hmm.
nobody doing nothing but talking. You
Well,
know,
and here's the thing, and what is there to do? I mean, you can't, do something violent against them. You try to
no.
beat him in court. This guy has stacked the court.
The
I
courts
mean,
are all
he is.
backed up. I mean, it's like the Supreme Court with the situation in DC with that thing about
Ooh.
do he have immunity? They still haven't announced that, man. They just dragging that out. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
oh yeah.
it's ridiculous, man. Of course he doesn't have immunity, man. I mean,
I
that's not
know.
that shouldn't even been considered. But they didn't hear it, and this here is months passing. Here we
But you know
are.
what though? I'm telling you, if these cats would come out and say, because it's 6-3, if they come out and say he does have immunity, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, now everybody's saying that's not going to happen, but they didn't think they were going to reverse this bump gun thing. You know, I mean, how can you possibly make? And there was a brother who brought the lawsuit that turned that thing around. This brother said, "I bought one of these guns, and now they're going to tell me it's illegal." Looking at this dude like, brother, are you serious? The number of people that have been murdered because of those things, and you went to court and fought to be able to have that thing reversed, and then won. You know, went to the Supreme Court and won.
Because that's
I
their
don't get it, man. I don't understand. I don't understand what we as a people, how we can be so ridiculously. I don't get it, you know. And then one dude said, talking about they don't know the history. That's why these blacks don't understand it, you know. Yeah, no, brother, what history are you reading? You know, what history did this dude read? I mean, come on. Anyhow, it is what it is. But you know, this too shall pass, right? The question is November the 5th, where we're going to be as a nation, as a world, really. I mean, come
yeah,
on now.
that's what it's coming down to.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that's
did you
what it's
notice
gonna come
that
down to.
we
Where
see it?
where you gonna
Yeah,
be? Here it
and where
is.
we're gonna be, man. Where we're gonna be. But you capture a lot of this kind of stuff in your stories, though. And
Right.
so, for people who never heard you talk about your books and it's coming out, why don't you give them a synopsis of what you've been working on and the one that you hope to come out in August? Can you tell them a little bit about that?
Well, that book, and it's like in all my works is fiction combined with realism, and it's actual facts and different things that's coordinated with an imagination that's surrounded around a bunch of facts.
Yeah.
And one of the things of this country is is the biggest thing that we miss is that in World War II, well, before World with Hitler,
Hmm.
Hitler, Hitler, Germany, there was a massive thing here in this country,
Hmm.
Nazis, because Nazis is basically the same as white supremacists, the Ku
Absolutely.
Klux Klan. They all in the same group,
Hmm.
and I mean these are factual things that occurred. And like I was saying about in 1939, when President Roosevelt refused to allow a ship of Jews fleeing Nazi Germany to dock in America.
Wow. Mm.
The president of this country refused to allow them to dock in this country. That's a historical fact.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a big thing. That same year, 1939, is when they had that big old rally in Madison Square Garden with the Nazi flag and the American flag.
Hmm.
And all this kind of stuff was going on. You might have heard of Charles Lindbergh. Remember him?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
man. He was a part of the whole movement that was called the America First Committee.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this stuff that Trump is talking about, this is stuff they were doing. The America First Committee, this is
Mm-hmm.
what these people were, man. This whole process. And so these
Mm-hmm.
people, man, were Germans, man. They were Nazis and they were friends with Hitler. They were allies. That's why America did not join the war when Hitler attacked France and England.
Okay.
They're allies. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wonder about that? They're boys. America stayed on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
America did not get involved until Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Hitler
Yeah.
betrayed them.
Mm-hmm.
Because Japan was allies with Hitler, and Hitler betrayed them. That's when America got into the war.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, that's history,
Mm-hmm.
man. That's some seriously facts. And
That's
so
what
the
it's
story
about.
talks about how the CIA allowed Nazi war criminals
Mm-hmm.
to come into America because they had the members of the
Okay.
Gestapo and the SS Secret Service intelligence because they were experts on Soviet Union affairs because once World War II ended, the threat became communism.
Mm-hmm.
And so the CIA wanted these Nazis in there to help them as consultants and spies against communism.
Mm-hmm.
So they allowed them into the country. So it's a lot of things that go down, and you look at you go back in the history, and you look at things like Nixon. It's like
Mm-hmm.
look at Nixon, how the Nixon came into power, and Nixon's men. You probably never really thought about them, like Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Kissinger. These guys are all Germans, man.
That's right.
Hey, that's all
Mm-hmm.
German. That's what they were, and
Yeah.
that's what Nixon was all about. I mean, it was a Nixon Watergate. People think Watergate was about they were planning on removing the Democratic Party. That's what it was all. It was about. It was the first process of trying to have a coup.
Okay.
That's what Nixon was all about. And
Mm-hmm.
but at that time, the country was they did the right thing by making him resign. He should have went to prison, but the Republican people spoke up and
Yeah.
they were concerned about losing their position in the elections and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. No
So they
question.
put him out. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is what the story talks about how these Nazis infiltrated the American political system to raise up the Reich, the Fourth Reich in this country through the
I gotta
using.
tell you, just recently, I think I heard this right. They interviewed Kissinger, and he's still alive, man. I didn't know Kissinger was still alive. You never hear nothing about him, you know? And when you hear people being silent like that, especially he was at the top echelon. He was the diplomat. He was the cat that everyone talked about. Henry Kissinger, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, he's way up in age now and everything, but he sounds the same way that he sounded when he was in office. That very deliberate, slow and that thick accent that he had. Um, I'm thinking to myself, what influence is this guy having? But we don't hear about him. We don't know about him. You never know. You never know what's going on with these guys, man. I'm telling you. Out of sight, out of mind, right? That doesn't mean that they're
Well, I
not
mean,
out of power, though. May not be out of
behind the
power.
scenes working different stuff. I mean, these people are doing a lot of stuff, man. I mean, there's
Mhm.
a lot of stuff that was happening in this country, and it's all coming down as to where we are today. And
Yeah.
you can connect it all, and that's what the story talks about, how this
Hmm.
all plays out. And it's I mean, just look at you just look at the political system, how it all worked out, how Kennedy was assassinated,
Hmm.
how that happened.
Yeah.
Um, because that gave way for Nixon to come into president.
And then they silenced Lee Harvey Oswald. Think
Right, and
about
they
that.
silenced him right there live on television.
On TV.
Silenced him live on television. So
Hmm.
so all this stuff happened, and they gave you a report that said there was only one shooter. When you can look at the video and see that this man was hit from different angles, from more than.
Look like it.
But they got the people to believe in this is just one shooter. None of
Hmm.
that, and people believe that crazy stuff.
Mhm.
But see, this is what they did. So this is what was happening in this country all this time that was going on.
Yeah.
And but the biggest thing that occurred, man, is when Reagan was Reagan was supposed to have been killed. Okay, you know, they
Okay.
Reagan Reagan was in president in January, man, and he was shot in March.
Wow.
Okay, he was
Wow.
supposed to have been assassinated. You
Okay.
saw how close that man was to him.
Wasn't
He
it close?
no, no,
Yeah.
no, this
Mm-hmm.
man was beyond the barrier. But the
Mm-hmm.
Secret Service people,
Yeah.
how did this clown get that close to the president? And
Mm-hmm.
then when Haig went on there and said he's in charge, you know what's going on? Where was the
Yeah.
vice president? Where was the speaker of the house? Nowhere to be found. Daddy Bush, you ain't find him. You ain't see him. Daddy Bush was nowhere to be found.
Mhm.
He was not. You like
That's
where was
true.
Daddy Bush at? He was the vice president. He
Mm-hmm.
was like in hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And Haig went out there and said, "I'm in charge
Mm-hmm.
to the world."
To the
The
world. He
Secretary of
did.
State.
He did that.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he did it in
Mm-hmm.
front of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and they gonna say, "Oh, he made a mistake." And Alexander Haig was the chief of staff for President Nixon, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
remember, Reagan's boys, you know, Weinberger,
Oh
Schultz,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Germans, man.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and when you talk like this, I mean, the point is people are so asleep and they're so afraid to even, question anything that they just can't phantom it. So they say, no, it can't be that. What do you mean it can't be? Stuff is happening every single day in this country.
There
You
in
don't
front
have
of
a
you,
clue
man.
what's going
Right
on,
there
not
in
just
front
this
of you.
country, the world.
In front
And
of
the
you, it's
world, man.
happening. It's happening right there in front of everything, and there
Mm-hmm.
and there it is. It was a thing called the German Bund. I mean, I'm gonna pronounce the last word. It's spelled Bund, and that was
Okay.
a group back in those 30s, man.
Mm-hmm.
Germans, and they had a group where they were influential Germans, and you had to be a German American. You had to be of the American of German descent to
Uh-huh.
be a part of this group.
Okay.
And they were very influential behind this whole process, man, of what these people are doing.
It's
And
man, every single day they call it disinformation. What's going to be interesting? This is way off the subject in a sense, but there's a movie coming out soon. We saw it in the previews last week. Went to the movies, and it's talking about the moon landing that the United States, when we first landed someone on the moon, and how they set that whole thing up. That they never did make it at
yeah, it
that
was
time.
a fake.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was fake and all that kind of stuff. And that's always been banged around. Different people said, well, that never really happened. That was all fake and everything. Now all of a sudden there's movies coming out and they're making it sound like, it really happened that way. And I'm thinking, wait a minute now, um,
yeah.
that's deep.
It
It'll
was a
be interesting
fake,
to see
man,
if that
because
kicks
they
up
were
more.
they were rushing with Russia
Mm-hmm.
and competing, and they in Hollywood they set it up, made it was all fake to make it
Mm-hmm.
look like they actually had landed on the moon, but they hadn't landed on the moon.
Man, it'll be
But
interesting to see how
yeah,
that
so
plays
that
out.
truth is coming out now. Like they hid it for many
Mm.
years, but now it's coming out. You know that yeah, it was a fake. So a lot of stuff that was done, but that was all in fighting against the Russians, man, communism,
Yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff
they
was
talk
going
about that. Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, real quick, just to let the people know, we're tuned here into The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg, just kind of kicking and having a conversation with author, award-winning author Neil Owens. He's out of High Point, North Carolina, and he's been a steady, member of the Writers Workshop here on a Friday night. Really appreciate him. Has a book coming out real soon in August, and you don't want to miss it. It's well written. He's been giving us little bits and pieces all throughout, the last couple of years here. And brother's a good writer, so I want you to check him out. The name of your book again is
It's the rise and fall of the Fourth Reich.
Rise and Fall of the Fourth Reich by Neil Owens. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna write that down. Come August, let's look for the book and let's support the brother. But this intrigue we're talking about, he touches on some of that in his writing, which is really pretty powerful. So here's the thing: we usually on Friday night we're here from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we use this platform to, do what we do. And Brother Chris Thomas is the man with the plan. He is the owner of, The Voice, along with his wife, Melissa. And they do a great job of creating platform, for us. And also, he does a nice job of engineering various things. Like, for example, he brings up a lot of videos throughout the day. So I'm gonna ask him if he could bring up the first video tonight, and we can, just enjoy that. Check this out.
Cotton fields weren't meant to hollow our hearts with hallelujahs. They were cultivated to silence our praises. The Jubilee the Creator planted in our mouths harvested a silent symphony most our days. But today, the earth crumbles to a cadence of candor. The soul serenades the truth. We are free. Angels deliver a delayed ballad of freedom, but that chorus has always echoed in our dreams. Sorrow swings from the stars, but joy has voyaged far to smear us in hope. We swam the irrigated rivers of our tears, each stroke searching for the Messiah. We remember each body afloat the mysterious waves of forgiveness, till we drowned in our prayers of liberty. A mournful mind tours the banks of history when castrated organs hung like ornaments. Still, they conceived liberty. Feeble fingers found faith amongst crops that conjured anything but care. Produce didn't prune patience. As we waited for our rapture from slavery, despair germinated there. Now the heavens have hired the atmosphere to sing of our salvation. Capture men resurrected in freedom. Breathe. Inhale the sovereignty of our soul's departure from chattel guises that shrouded us in brutality. Our new cloak is a quilt of deliverance, our sandals secure with our vigor. All is possible to him who believes. Faith forged in the cabins of oppression knows only the true love could illuminate our path through the trees. Roar, the burden now lifted. Scream, for Adam's children are set free. Humanity rests on the crest of tomorrow. Erect we stand, numerous as granules of sand. Actions, the invocation of our new beginning. We can scour the relics of our past, but they will entreat us to benevolent suffering. So our offspring's limits are nothing. They'll make memorials of our promised lands. Organize parades to commemorate the shackles withering from our wrist. But we will shout, this is the ballad of our freedom. The day you realize we are more than free. We are loved.
Hmm. Good stuff, man.
June.
Good stuff. Freedom Ballad. Yeah, very nice. Thank you, brother. That's a good one. In fact, Brother Chris, if I could indulge you for a moment, I had a request to do a presentation to our staff, which is the chaplain staff at UPMC. And so I will be doing that on the 17th. We have actually, 17th, I think it is. We have a meeting then. And so anyhow, what I was going to ask is if you could, find a good video. I want to show one of the poets speaking. That brother was good, but you've had some others on too that were outstanding. That these are a bunch of, like I said, spirit-filled chaplains. And almost all, in fact, all of our chaplains are Christians at this time. And so if you could maybe email me one of those clips where I could show it, that would be
Is
awesome.
there one specifically that you wanted, Dr. Gaston, or?
I remember last week you had a couple that were really good. It was one young lady. If you find one that kind of breaks it down, what is Juneteenth, but also, yeah, some poets that really can lay it out.
Something
And
more faith inspired though, more with
more faith,
that faith.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe like the next one I'm gonna play. Let me know if that one will be suitable.
Well, why don't you play it now, and then we'll just kind of check it out and see what it's
Okay,
all
give
about.
me 2 seconds to pull it up
Okay,
here.
sure. Since you, yeah, that'd be great. I think a good video, a good, piece. Because you can always talk about it, but it's nice when you have that, something you can actually see and experience. And some of these spoken word artists are just phenomenal, man. They
Sure.
really lay it out there. Yeah, sheesh. I have to give it to them.
Let's
Very,
see
very
here.
talented.
Yeah, no question. No question, man. Here we go. Let's check this one out.
In life we live, and in life we'll die. Or is it in Christ we live, and in Christ we'll die? See, this world has nothing to offer me, but God has everything a sinner like me could ever need. I was bought with a price, and I don't call him Massa, but Master, ruler of everything, the only king I'll ever bow down to. And no, he's not blue. He doesn't come to me saying, put your hands up while I scream, please don't shoot. See, my God says, put your hands up, surrender to me, and I'll take care of you. In this life, we must choose. But remember, everything that comes easy is not always good to you. Or should I say, for you. See, for you, I'll put my pride aside, roll up my sleeves, and get in the fire with you. Because your salvation is important to me, too. Everyone wants to love and be loved, but what happens when you love the world, but the world doesn't love you back? Because you're black. I mean, I'm just speaking fact. Because I wish that this poetic piece could bring justice and peace to a nation that has never been free. Tell me, why is the color of my skin the only thing that you see? Do you not know the meaning of diversity? I have inherited my beautiful blackness from my ancestors, my father and my mother. And I don't see why my melanin intimidates you and we all bleed the same color. I know there's no I in we, but I hope one day America's dream could turn into America's team. Only then would we see the reality of Dr. King's dream. And I wish that he was still alive just so we can hear his story. Because when I think about his story and his story, I just can't help but wonder why our modern day still resembles the past, if I may add. So many great leaders came before me and fought to make a difference that it's only right that I continue to fight and stand up for what I believe is right. I am black. Today, tomorrow, and for the rest of my life. Maybe one day the world will see the power that I endow. My black is not history. My black is now.
I like that too. You know, so what I wanted is something though that will talk about Juneteenth. I like that piece though. She's very good. Yes, you know, I would like to have a spiritual piece too, but more than anything, they want to know about Juneteenth. I think we have there's only three of us that are African American, and all the rest are white. And so, you know, want it to be more of a sort of a teaching tool, if you know what I mean. I think you had somebody on last week. I forget if it was last week or a couple weeks ago that just kind of blew me away. They were really rapping about Juneteenth, you know. So if you think of something, if you come across something, just let me know. I'll take your word for it. I'll be looking myself. But if you can find something, that'd be great. All right. That was a good piece though. Yeah. All right. So anyhow, man. So while we're, hanging on that, what's her name? Ro was on last week and she talked about Queenie. Queenie's doing a lot of things. Haven't talked to Queenie in a long time. Have you been in touch with Queenie by any chance? No? Oh, you're muted right now, Neil. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a while, man. I know she's doing some big things. She's still out there promoting authors, and but I haven't. I know she's been expanding her business.
Oh, really?
I haven't had a chance to really talk to her though.
I know Rose says she's been, Rose Bradley has been in touch with her and said she was doing, good stuff and, so, yeah, we got to touch base with her again. I think she's doing something on Friday nights herself, which is a good thing. So hats off to her, man. Keep it moving, keep it moving. I noticed last week and last few weeks, people usually come on the second half of this hour, this program, And usually that's, but after 8, and right now, no time is it? Okay, 7:47. Yeah, usually come on around. Lucille Powder's been on, Roe, Dr. Dan Snowden, and then we had a couple other people, and Sally John joined us. I think she joined us last week, and she's the sister writing a book about epilepsy. And she came and shared a little bit about that. She says she's to the point where the book's just about ready to roll. So I think she's actually done with it. We'll see. And someone else we had on as well that did a great job. A guy named Baya Thompson. He's a brother, did 25 years, hard time. And he's come out now, and he's from Philadelphia, but he located himself here in Harrisburg, and did some real good poetry for us, some good spoken word. And we also featured him on our TV program, Life Esteem, and did a great job, so got a lot of interest in his work. So over the last few weeks, we've had some good guests on, man. Yeah. So I'll say to people, if you're interested in being a guest, sometime here on the show and read your works, whether it be poetry or Nanette, yeah, of course, Nanette's been on as well. How you doing, Nanette?
Doing good.
All
Yeah,
right,
Nanette.
good. I got to mention Nanette, and since you came on, I was talking to Nicole Wilkerson, and we have this event tomorrow, which is going to be a
Yes.
celebration of the 15th, and it's going to be at the Ben Franklin. I keep saying Camp Curtin. Ben Franklin Elementary School, which is at 1205 North 6th Street, Ben Franklin Elementary School. And it's going to start at 10 a.m. and go to 5 p.m. And it's for the whole family. We have a big bouncy house we've purchased, and we have this flyer there. We have ice cream social. We have what is it called? The Winterman African Dance Troupe, and then also the other dance company. I can't even think of the names. That the young kids they'll be performing as well. So you have the Winterman African Dance. Here we go. Let me get my glasses on there. Thank you, Chris. Just brought the flyer up. So it's Moana, I think it is, Dance Steps Children and Dance Group. The Winterman is going to come on at 2, and that's a little bit closer than what I thought it was going to be. But anyhow, at 1:30, you're going to have the poetry presentation, always poetry. We have Kids Arts and Crafts Corner, hula hoops and jump ropes and coloring contest, ice cream social. But the big one is the bicycles that have been donated by Nanette Swanson, along with helmets.
Recycle bike shop. I'm a
Recycle bike
volunteer
shop.
there.
Okay. Recycle Bike Shop has donated, what, 5 bicycles? Yeah, but you were the one that made it
And
happen.
helmets.
And helmets. I heard about the helmets and
Oh,
something
yeah.
else too. You had what else did you bring up? You brought something else. You
Oh,
said.
a couple stuffed animals.
Yeah, stuffed animals. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you. We
One of
really
them big
appreciate you.
bears.
But yeah, it came about as of last week, and then that just offered it up, and so we're gonna do that. We have a clown coming in by the name of Zippo. He's out of Pittsburgh. He's gonna
Oh.
be doing animals and all that kind of stuff. Reverend Dr. Dred Perky Scott will be singing, as well as Nan Swanson will be singing as well. Thank you both so very much. Always bring a lot to the show. And we have a DJ by the name of Brian Dupree, who's always been just a tremendous guy to work with. He's so easygoing, good Christian brother. And so Brian will be doing the DJing and making the microphones and all that stuff. And hats off to the Harrisburg School District. They made it possible for us to use the Ben Franklin School. And Nicole has just been working like crazy on this event. We went today down to Lancaster and got, what's the name of the place? Oh, here's on. Here it is right here. It's called Blessings of Hope. If you've never been there before, you want to check it out, you can become a partner. There's no cost. It is. You get yourself a card, you go in, you scan your card. They literally, you have all kinds of stuff that they collect. And I mean, things for like paper towels, this and that, food. The Lord, they have a great big area that's like a big ice box. I mean, I'm sure I caught a cold down there. But we have a big ice cream social tomorrow because of the, so they weigh it. So you pay 37 cents a pound. So we had our carts filled to the gill. We put the cart, they weigh the cart, and so we probably got enough stuff that would probably cost about $400. I kid you
They
not.
donated it?
Huh?
It was donated? donate.
No. We pay for it. Yeah, you pay for it. The
Oh,
people,
okay.
yeah, the people. This is a ministry of two brothers. They're I think Amish brothers, and they got together and decided they want to do a ministry. And so they had this huge warehouse, and they get food stuff from all over the place, and it may be expired like on the shelf, but still good. And so you go down and you load up your cart, and you only pay by the pound. And so we paid. I think it was. I only think we paid $37. Whatever it was very, very inexpensive. I'm sure we didn't pay $40, but it's incredible, all the stuff we got. And so you have to just go down and look at, but everyone, I mean, it's packed down there. And so this has been going on for a while. I had no idea. And it's a beautiful place. And so they really got it laid out. And they're real strategic about it. And you want to take your car down there and load it up. And yeah, so it's just a good find. But anyhow, it's called Blessings of Hope. And everyone seems to know about it except me.
I never heard of it either. So do you have an extra card? You have a card that you can give me?
No. You just get the card. No, that's not a card. That's actually a membership card. So when you go in, you scan that.
Okay.
So you go. All you gotta do is tell them that you're like whatever 501c3 you're working with, and you take down your what is it called? Your EIN number. And then you put that on file. And so we have Life Esteem and the Writer's Wordshop. And so we go in and I have my Life Esteem card today and I just scan that. And then they check you out. Yeah, you're a member. And then you go through the line and go, just start picking up anything you want. And then you come out and you actually put it on the scale and they weigh it by the pound. And it's 37 cents a pound, truly amazing. I will tell you, truly amazing. And a lot of people were there from all, backgrounds. That's all I can say. So, glad that it happened. And for anybody that's doing big things and all that kind of stuff, I would say, yeah, if you're doing a party, if you're doing a big event and, you want to have some food items or different things you need, cups, stuff like that, that would be the place to go. And it's not that far. It's Harrisburg to Lancaster is what? 30 minutes, something like that. Yeah, so we enjoyed it. We had a good time. I had never been there before. Today was my first day going, and the code went down and set everything up. And then my wife and daughter went down and set it up for Life Esteem and everything. And yeah, I highly recommend it, folks. If you never heard of it, you can actually call down to Lancaster and find Blessings of Hope. And once you find out where it is, it's really pretty direct to get to also. Pretty direct, yeah. So don't ask me how though, because believe me, I'm bad on directions. You don't want me to start explaining. Anyhow, so real quick, Nicole, Nanette, I know you know about a lot of other things going on. Tomorrow we have an art event from 10 to 5, but there's a lot of stuff going on. In fact, I do know over at the baseball field, what is it called? The Harrisburg, what's the team over there? Is that the Senators?
Oh, Senators on City Island?
Yeah, City Island.
Yeah.
Well, Floyd Stokes is having a big Juneteenth celebration tomorrow on City Island baseball game. It's in the evening, and they're honoring a number of people, but they have a lot of performances going on in between the innings and stuff. So that's a real nice thing. So whatever you do, support. If you're into baseball in particular, support Brother Floyd Stokes. And I know he's honoring Karen Love and I forget who else, but he's been really advertising, and it looks really nice. Maria Child will be there doing poetry. So anyhow, yeah. And usually they get a big turnout for those games too. So that's gonna be real nice. Yeah.
So something going on downtown right now?
Right now? I don't
Where?
know. It probably is, but I don't know about
A
it.
Juneteenth something. My niece was doing something live,
Oh, nice. Okay.
singing down there or something.
Okay, excellent. Well, I know that on next week also, next weekend, there's a lot of stuff going on the 22nd too. I don't know what, but I do know there's some number of things going on. Juneteenth actually falls on the 19th, which is, let me see, that's gonna fall on a Wednesday. And so the official celebration is Wednesday. So some people, we decided to celebrate before, and some people celebrating afterwards. So, there's gonna be a lot going on. So anyhow, yes,
Okay.
indeed. So anyhow, Brother Neil, we were talking before you came on, and that Brother Neil's book will be coming out in August. And we've enjoyed his excerpts. I've read force and, that kind of thing. So we're celebrating.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. And also, Ro Bradley has a book coming out, her poetry book, and she's having, I guess, a book signing sometime soon. I'm not sure, but she just finished her poetry book, and that should be coming out as well, pretty soon. And there was one other person too. I can't think who it is, but yeah, so yeah, that's all good. Again, thank you, Nanette, for helping make that possible with the bicycles and everything. I know that's gonna be a blast.
Well, recycling bikes, we're trying to get bikes ready. We need more volunteers. Get bikes ready for the send out to the community because they're donated to us from different people. So I just I got 20 bikes ready for Hubert Memorial, and they picked them up on Thursday. David White at Hubert Memorial. So I got 20 bikes ready, and this is like the second year that they've had some kind of event that they needed bikes, and helmets.
We're gonna raffle off the 5 that we have, that's gonna be real good. So looking forward to that. Now, what do you do there at the shop? I mean, do you work on the bikes?
I fix bikes. I repair bikes. I fix
Here
flat
now.
tires. I
What
fix
don't you do? My
derailleurs
goodness.
and yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. I
Yeah.
know you did. I just wanted to hear you say that because I've seen you, on Facebook and everything doing that. But yeah, what made you get into that? How did you get into that?
Well, when the pandemic started, everything, shut down, and I took my grandson over there to get his bike fixed, and one of the guys named Dan, he said, well, why don't you come and volunteer, be a volunteer? You can register people as they come in, because we do register, and take them in line and all that stuff. And I said, well, let me think about it, and I decided to do it. Once I make up my mind, Nate, to do something, I'm faithful to it.
There it is. All right. That's fantastic. Way to
So
go.
I've been there since 2019.
Excellent. That's great. That's great. And also I met your twin.
Jeanette. Oh, she told me when she was in the hospital.
Yeah, I met your twin. I was like, I'll be done. Okay. But anyhow, yeah, it's my first time ever meeting her. And so I hope she's doing well.
She's doing better, yeah.
Good. Okay, excellent. Yeah. But yeah, so that was
And
that.
you're related to her husband, right?
Yeah,
Steve
now
Pearson,
yeah, he's related to
your family?
yeah, Bishop Ravenel, the Ravenel
Yeah,
family.
that's his dad.
Yeah, okay. Wait a minute, Ravenel's his dad.
Yeah, Bishop Ravenel is Steve's dad.
Oh, because I work with his sister then, Jacqueline Ravenel.
Well, I
Jackie.
guess Steve was born before, he got married to Miss Ravenel now. Because they're
Okay.
like half brother and sister. He's the oldest though, I think. Steve is.
Okay, maybe so. Yeah, Jackie Ravenel, yeah, but he was Bishop Ravenel was related to my father. And so
Yeah.
when my father passed, that's when that all came out. And he came to the funeral and we had it. I said, what? And so I didn't know that. You don't know who you related to, right? So much stuff going on. Yes, indeed. But yeah, that's
Small world, they say.
Small world. There you go. Small world.
Mhm.
Neil, did you want to, for people who've never heard of your books or anything like that, did you want to read a little episode tonight?
I can read the preface.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read the preface.
That'd be great. That'd be
Very
great.
short introduction.
Let me turn this
And
thing.
then I don't know if you have anything you want to share. If you do, okay.
At the downfall of the Third Reich, high-ranking and wealthy members of the Nazi Party fled to the autocratic regime in Spain to plan the Fourth Reich. The leader of these former SS, Gestapo, and Nazi intelligence officers was a man named Heinrich Dorfmeister. He was the intellectual lead of the SS think tank and had a backdoor business partnership with Joseph Stalin. At the end of World War II, the Soviet Union had stretched its grip across Eastern Europe, and communism replaced Nazism as the biggest threat to the United States of America. To combat the threat, the CIA recruited the Nazis in Spain to work as spies and consultants because of their expertise on Soviet Union affairs. In return, the Nazis received asylum in the USA and increased wealth. Those war criminals found kinship in the America First Coalition, whose ideology was ultranationalism, and used their wealth and influence to help certain political candidates get elected to Congress and the White House. With fascism disguised under democracy, these far-right wing members of the Elephant Party planned the rising of the Fourth Reich in America. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the preface, huh? All right.
So how many pages is the book?
It's 326 pages.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And Neil, it is being published through, tell us about that.
Oh, I'm self-published. I'm independent. I self-publish all of my books.
Well,
But you can get your books on.
Yeah, Orange Publishing. I mean, you can get them anywhere books are sold online. I
Mhm,
mean, Barnes and Noble, of course, Amazon.
mhm.
You can go in the bookstore and get the book. You just have to order it. Probably won't be on the shelf. You probably have to just order it. They can get it.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Well, looking forward
You can get
to
an
it
autographed
again, you
copy on
know?
my website. You can get it there, and I can send you an
Oh,
autographed copy.
okay, okay, okay. And I know you've given out before, but give out your website if you could.
Yes, www.owenspublishing.com.
Owens Publishing, okay. All right, .com. Good stuff, man. All right. Now, Nanette, we're always trying to encourage you to write more. And did you write anything? Have you delved?
I haven't written anything lately.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been having a little issue with my knee because it's like bone on bone, right? So it's
Ooh,
kind of a little swelled. It would going out on me, when I'm walking or something.
yeah.
And so I wear those compressing bands around it and stuff. So that does help. I
Mm.
had a little water on it, so I can't get a shot until after June 28th. But
Oh,
I'm still moving.
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
let it
yeah.
stop me. I mean, age, I just read my what is it, my AARP magazine
All
newsletter.
right.
It's talking about, the pain people go through after the age of 65 in their bodies and, how to alleviate some of it. They talked about the different drugs, you take and stuff. But the main thing is exercise and physical therapy and keep on moving and to tell your mind, I'm
Mhm,
strong, I can do this. You got to speak to your mind because a lot of it, I mean,
mhm.
it's working in your mind, So
It is. Yeah,
I just got to
no
keep
question about it.
moving.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I used to say to myself, "Why do people, sit around and now I found myself doing way too much of that myself." Back in the day, I was running, playing ball all the time, running up and down the street. And then you just kind of start a pattern of just becoming more sedentary, and that's not good. I will attest to that.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, that's real. Who was the guy back in the day? Jack LaLanne, remember Jack LaLanne?
Who?
Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
His name was Jack LaLanne, yeah.
Exercise
Working
guy.
out all the time. Yeah, he was exercise guy, yeah. But I mean, he
Yeah.
was like 80 and 90 and doing all kinds of unbelievable flexible stuff, and it's like, what? But he never stopped. And that was the key. There was a woman here in Harrisburg, they brought her here. She's been featured all over the place. She was 66 when her sister passed away of diabetes. And then she decided to change her, and then she was a huge lady, and she lost all this weight, and then she started lifting weights. And so she's thin, but she's real powerful. And now she's won, I don't know how many world titles, weightlifting and all this other kind of stuff, bodybuilding. An incredible story. Now she's in her 80s and she's still going strong. But she
Yeah.
changed her diet. She totally changed her diet. And it just sounds like what? But she said, hey, it works for her. Yeah, unbelievable. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, just got to keep it moving. You do a good job at it. At least you used
Huh?
to. You still doing it?
Exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to get to the gym. I haven't been as much as I used to, But
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get there because I mean I don't have to always use my legs. I can do the body, the
That's
lifting,
right.
the stretching, because
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
They have a thing now that and I used to see it all the time on Facebook. Now it's kind of cooled down a little bit, where you can do sit in the chair and do all these different exercises.
Right.
All you got to do is just use the chair and lifting your legs. It's incredible, doing crunches and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, we have Zumba with the Savvy Seniors with the Salvation Army. That's one
okay,
part of our schedule, you know.
fantastic. Well, by the way, brother Chris, you had that schedule up of what's going to happen tomorrow. Can you put that up one more time if you still have it? Because at 11 o'clock we have a group that's going to do the line exercise, and they were with us a couple months ago and a few months ago, and they did a great job. I think it's mostly all women. I think you may have made a man or two that got up there also, but yeah, I can't call the name. I know some brothers like making it bad for the rest of us. But anyhow, let me see here. Let me look at this. 11 a.m. See the name of the group here. Okay, it says wait a minute, 11 a.m. open vendor market. Okay. Oh, stream hip hop with Nicole. She put that down at 1 o'clock now. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I thought she said maybe they had to change up for some reason. But I forget the full name, but her name is Nicole, and it's called a stream hip hop. And it's a workout, and they really work too. They keep it moving. So hopefully you come out. Like I mentioned, the clown, he does balloon stuff and all this kind of stuff. We mentioned the ice cream social. We have all kinds of different ice creams, and thanks to Harrisburg School District, they open up their freezers for us and all that kind of good stuff. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be real nice. And we have, there's Zippo.
Nope.
Zippo. Yeah, he will be there. He can leave the dog at home, hopefully. But anyhow, I'm not a dog dude like my man Neil is. Neil got 5,000 dogs over there, man. You still work with your dogs, Neil?
He's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 'cause I breed.
Man, that's yeah. And what kind do you breed? Do you have a specific kind?
The miniature poodles and multi poodles.
Miniature poodles and multi poodles? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they call multi poodle. They're a combination of Maltese and poodle.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic, man.
I like dogs. I don't mind dogs, but in my neighborhood now and next door, they got a pit bull and some other little poodle. But where I'm located, where the sinkholes, they tore down the 14th Street houses and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's nothing
Okay.
but grass and benches there now. But I mean, they let the dogs. I mean, everybody walks their dog, but they don't clean up after their dogs.
Oh
So,
man.
Neil, is that some kind of? They think it's fertilizer or something? I mean, why can't they clean up after the dogs? Because
Yeah,
the
you
kids
find
out
that a
there,
lot of time. Yeah, they're supposed to clean up. You're supposed to clean up behind your dog when you're
Yeah.
walking.
yeah, nobody cleans up after
Yeah,
their
they
dog.
just lazy and don't do
It
it,
don't
man.
make sense.
It's
Does
bad.
anybody speak up about it, Nanette? Does
Oh
anybody
yeah,
protest?
I'm talking to Mayor Wanda.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because when they first did that area there, that big area, I
Mm-hmm.
had signs out there on all the benches, like 5 benches, clean up the poop after your dogs, but people tore
Yeah.
them down, and that's been a couple of years now since we had that area, since they tore down that area. And
Yeah.
it's nothing but grass and, I don't know if they don't want, like, I mean, there's cars that park out there sometime on the grass, but they
Yeah.
still concerned about whether it's going to still uh, a car or something could go down in a sinkhole over there,
Yeah.
because there's one patch there that we're watching that doesn't grow any grass. So I
Wow.
know they said they filled up those areas, the sinkhole areas with,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, dirt or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still a concern. But I just wish the people would, because I mean, I can't even go out and sit on a bench without worrying about, maybe stepping on some poop or something, dog poop.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So,
ridiculous. One of the things that's a lost art, I don't know if people are into it as much as they used to be, that is writing editorials, writing letters to the editor, like at the newspaper and all that kind of stuff. Or, because, you write about something like that, let people, and it's interesting how people will read it and then want to, take action. because they're like, you know what, I've been dealing with the same thing. But yeah, yeah.
Well, out where my son lives off of 82nd Street back in the area, I forgot the name of what it's called back there, homes. They have like poop um
Hooper Scooper.
bags and stuff in
Oh
areas
yeah,
where,
yeah.
and some people still don't use them.
No,
They still don't use them, but most of the people clean up after their dogs out there. But
okay,
around
yeah,
here, Harrisburg Park Apartments and whatever, they don't. I took pictures. I got pictures of people that just
yeah.
let their dogs go and
Yeah.
don't clean up.
But one of the things is not, in your areas of dogs, there's another sister who I talked with and for years, she's been dealing with this whole thing about trash. People are dumping in this one alley. They were just dump their trash,
Yeah,
and I was like, what? And then not just trash, garbage, everything. And so the city actually went out and did something a few times. Dr. Dan Snowden joined us, okay. And that was a good thing. But at the same time, nothing was really happening. And
they're
then
still
finally, I
dumping.
remember they said again,
They're still dumping over back
oh
by
yeah.
Harrisburg Park Apartments. I can look out and I can see a big couch out there that somebody
Mhm.
just laid out there or
Just
something,
set it out there. Yeah, yeah. Well, we need activism, and sometimes, we always talk about writing in terms of it being a creative art or an art, but also writing can be a very powerful tool for activism, and so one of the things missing in Harrisburg right now is a solid African American newspaper. And thank God we have the Black Wall Street, even though it's a small, issue, it does, bring out some, good articles and stuff. But we need to have, a little bit more activism, things that take place to talk about what's going on in community. The Black press used to be a really powerful tool, when we had the civil rights movement going on, all that kind of stuff. And the sad reality is, as we got more and more integrated and comfortable, the Black press started suffering. People stopped reading the doggone thing. And it's like, how do you stop reading your own newspaper about your own community? But that's what's happening. Now, some of the papers have come back. The Tribune is still going strong. From what I remember, the Philadelphia Tribune, New York Amsterdam News went away for a little bit. It's come back, and it just go on and on and on. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh had the Pittsburgh Courier, and I think that's still kicking. At least I hope they are. But we have got to, we got to talk about these issues in our communities and take ownership for that. So I do want to say hats off to the Black Wall Street. Neil, in your area, is there a Black press in your area? Black newspapers?
Yeah, there's a small Black newspaper. Yeah.
Okay, all right. One of these days we ought to do a program around that. Try to get, do a collection. The Black newspapers that are still out there. And I'm gonna look into that. At one point I used to get them all right here in Harrisburg. Now I can't find there a one because I used
Wow.
to write the articles, so I was always looking for them, to see whether or not my articles got in. And yeah, they're robust. And there's a thing called the National Newspapers Association. That's actually the Black newspapers. And they don't say Black, they just say National Newspapers. Yeah, so yeah, that's how it is, National Newspaper Association. And they do phenomenal work, but they can't stay in business if no one's buying the papers or advertising in the paper. And that's on us. We gotta figure that out. Yeah, so
Well,
anyhow.
yeah, it should go out to a wide range of people because some of them are white, some of them are Puerto Rican. They come from different countries and stuff that are
Yeah.
settling here. And, like two doors down, the man got a whole bunch of junk out there and
Oh man.
all kinds of stuff. And I took a picture of it. I've been down to codes and I talked to, left, a complaint about it, but
Okay.
nothing seems to be done. I know,
You
you
gotta
know,
write about it. You gotta
we
write
got a
about it.
lot of other serious
Yeah.
things going on, but
Yeah.
still, I've been here over 50 something years, and the way this place is going down because people don't own their property anymore. They're just,
That's true.
squatting, or either they're, a Section 8 or whatever, not having nothing against that, but they should learn to clean up after themselves.
Well, let me say this again. So one of the things that all the politicians say is that a lot of times we never hear from our constituents. They always, they'll be mad and they'll say things, but she said, they say that, you have to have a, what is it called? Not an advocate, what is it called? Anyhow, someone who goes up on Capitol Hill and is representing special interest groups. And so they said, those are the ones who end up getting action. People don't seem to get that. So when you write a letter, that letter now has power, because if you send that letter to 4 or 5 different people, people gonna say, well, wait a minute, it's in writing now, I mean, you could just brush off somebody talking, but if you write something down, come on now, what am I thinking of, Neil? The people, lobbyists, if you don't have someone lobbying for you, and for the issues, a lot of times it just goes on deaf ears and they just keep on going. But writing, that's tangible. Someone can hold that in the hand and they can show that to somebody else, You might speak to somebody and they turn right around and say, well, they said this, they said that. And that may not be what you said at all. But when you have in that letter in writing and then you send it to all these different people, yeah, that has power. So, that's one thing we ought to try to do, is get more young people in particular, but everybody in general, to start doing more of the activism in terms of writing. Write those letters, send stuff off and put some pressure on these people. By the way, visit a congressperson every now and then leave the letter with them, And they're like,
Right.
oh, who else did you give this to? Yeah, copy it. It's copy down. Who else you gave the letter to? They actually read that stuff. They really do. And so one of the things we don't have a lot of times is people lobbying on our behalf. And lobbyists, of course, the paid lobbyists, they cost money and they know what they're doing. And so but there are people who will lobby just because they have time on their hands. The guy that was jumping around the pink elephant. No, what was it? The pink pig. Remember that pink pig? Nanette?
The
Yeah,
pink,
that great pink pig out there on the lawn of the state capitol. And he was talking about they were like a piggy bank. They were just taking the money and, all this kind of stuff. I see that guy all the time, but I mean, he was really, and I thought he was just representing himself in life, and he was speaking out, and his name is Schultz or something like that, and he was making a difference. After a while, you start seeing these things in the Patriot News and all this stuff, and people started joining in with him, He really made a difference, yeah. So,
oh,
yeah. Anyhow, writing is writing, so, writing has power. So let's keep that thing going. Brother Chris, if you don't mind, it is now 8:19. Let's say hello to Dr. Dan Snowden. Dr. Snowden, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for being on again tonight. We appreciate you. And we're going to do a video. And then when we come back, we'll ask if you have anything that you want to read.
Sure.
Okay, let's see the video first.
Visualize a moment in time when the sun showed signs, sending rays that illuminate freedom. When all of you has been proclaimed your own, a melodic tone. Shouts and song are carried with the mist of the breeze, and through every street, there's a sense of elation when a nation finally identifies that corruption lies within enslavement. A sense of liberation becomes a universal embrace in the state of being human isn't rooted in the pigment of your face. Today is a time to commemorate, remembering the sacrifices our ancestors made, the pathways that our leaders have paved, for each of us to have a taste of what it means to be free, where our existence isn't restrained and our ambition isn't restricted by chains. The power of our people outweighs our pain. Like a sweet black rain, it cascades down every sky. As we continue to fight, let us rejoice in our victories, because every Juneteenth is the true day of independency.
Good, very good.
I couldn't hear it very clear. It seemed like it was too
Yeah.
low or something.
Yeah, a little low, but yeah, she was talking about Juneteenth and everything. But yeah, but yeah, I heard her. Okay, so good stuff. It looked like we lost. Oh, Brother Neil comes back in. Dr. Dan, welcome again. Thank you for being part of this. We're going to have a program tomorrow. I don't know if you received a notice about it. And Ben Franklin.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, if you get a chance to come through and want to do some poetry, let me know. we'll put you up there, of course. Looking forward to it. This should be a great program. So if you have a poem for us tonight, why don't you give it to us now?
All right. Here's one called The Unfortunate Broad Street Market Incident.
Oh.
One early morning in Harrisburg, a monumentally sad event occurred. Once the Midtown residents learned of it, they worked rather quickly to spread the word. The Broad Street Market is the main focus, in operation since the Civil War, selling food types both fresh and ready-made, along with clothing, jewelry, and more. Regarding the incident in question, it was a fire, perhaps a market first, within the brick component of the place, which was then left looking all the worst. The conflagration had major impacts upon many businesses therein. While these entities did pledge to rebuild, there was the question of where to begin. Local and state officials paid visits to the now horribly damaged venue, pledging multi-governmental support for all businesses to start anew. Other avenues were soon developed to obtain funds for affected vendors, such as partial proceeds from ticket sales for our own Harrisburg senators. GoFundMe campaigns were quite numerous, along with other fundraising affairs. Impacted businesses soldiered on for a courtyard setup that was all theirs. Making the Broad Street Market whole again is what all its patrons truly desire. With the Christmas in July event boost, the place will soon recover from the fire.
Good stuff. Yeah.
That was
Yeah, you
good.
captured that really well. Go ahead,
Oh, thank-
Nanette.
Oh yeah, I mean it's odd that a tragedy could inspire a poem, but here we are. That can occur from time to time.
That's right. No question about it. Happens way too often for some communities. Think about that. Wow. Yeah, that night when that whole thing jumped off, Rafika was broadcasting, and I was up late, and I just happened to turn on my, Facebook, as I do right before I go to bed sometimes. I look to see what's on there. And here she was, I said, what? And so I got up and, went down to the Broad Street Market myself and took some video. And it was unreal. I'm telling you, that was just absolutely unreal. And I thought maybe it was arson, but no, they said there was a fan that caught fire. And I guess they have them circulating at night, where kind of keeps it whatever down. But they said it caught fire and just burnt the place halfway down. I mean, wow. Unbelievable.
Mhm.
But well done, Dan. You captured that pretty nicely. Mhm. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So Nanette, I know maybe say you haven't written anything recently, but you have some pretty good stuff. Did you want to do a piece or talk about anything that you've done?
Well, I wrote this in 2013.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I've been, trying to put the dates on things,
Yeah.
When did I do that, So
Mhm.
yeah, and it's called What I Think About.
Mhm.
You heard the saying slogan, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You don't want to give anyone a piece of your mind, and you will understand it better as you grow older.
Mhm.
What I think about a lot of things. I think about God, my family, my friends, and all people. What I think about, well, God, why was I born? As I grew older, what is my purpose? What I think about all the things God has protected me from, danger seen and unseen. I think about what have I done with my life that I am still here. That's what I think about. I think about all the influences that I have had in my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What I think about my family, the ones I know and the ones I don't. The history of my family way back when. We won't know everything and how we all got here in this spot. What I think about my friends, the ones in the past and the ones in my present. Some friends have come and gone. Some friends have helped to shape who I am. Some friends I have had to let go. They were there for just a season. It's good to have a friend, is what I think about. I think about my children a lot. Lord, help my children. Who are they at times? Did I do the best I could, knowing what I knew? I put them in your hands, God. I know they'll be all right. That's what I think about. Oh, and yes, my grandchildren, God, what can I give them or what will I lead them with is what I think about. I think about all races, the human race, all the things that are happening all over the world and all the places I've seen and traveled. What a blessed life you have given me, God. I'm not rich, but I have riches. I have a good portion of my health for my age is what I think about. I think about being a kinder, more compassionate, caring person, a loving person is what I think about. When I leave this earthly body and transition to this heavenly body, what God has told me, God have told me, it will be like. Wow, God, what I think about, there is so much to think about. Is what I think about. I got
I
through
like
that.
that. I like the way you twisted it at the end. That's right. There's so much to think about. That's what I think about.
I
And
think about a
that's
lot
really
of
true.
things.
Boy. Yeah. But that's
Try to
good though.
shut the
Now,
mind off at night.
have you ever tried to publish that piece?
No, I got
Yeah.
a tablet notebook here with some, different stuff in. I want to do it over, maybe because these are like handwritten. I want to do it, maybe type it out or something.
And do that because we could get that published for you, however many pieces you have, and put it in a nice booklet, and be able to, people can
Yeah,
enjoy that. I like that piece.
thank
That's a
you.
really good piece. Yeah, yeah. So, I do want to touch on something tonight. It's really unfortunate, and I hope the brother doesn't mind because I really support him, and now more than ever, brother Basil Talib. Uh,
Oh,
Good brother who is a poet. He's been in this community now for years, and I think he came out of New York, and he had his two sons, man. When those kids were like 2 years old, he used to bring them out to all the different events and stuff. And a
I
lot of times
watched
he
him.
walked because he didn't have a car and stuff. Say it
Yeah,
again?
I watched him raise
Yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah.
as kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you saw it. He just raised those kids up,
Yeah.
and had them involved in everything. And I know recently they did basketball, football, and he brought them to a lot of the writers' workshop events that we had over the years down at the State Museum, whatever. Anytime we had a Kwanzaa or something like that, he always tried to have a table. Always had his kids with him. The reason why I'm bringing this up, of course, I know most people know that the one young boy, his oldest son, I think it is 13 years old, for whatever reason. No one knows the story, and I don't think we need to know the story. We just know that his son picked up a gun and shot an 18-year-old kid to death. And that's what they're alleging, okay? And they're saying he's responsible for that. So anyhow, he's 13. Think about that. He's 13 years old. He had a father I know who, like I said, tried to expose him to a lot of good stuff. And then they even did a fashion show and all kinds of stuff. You just don't know what's happening. I mean, everybody's individual, everybody has their own mind, and you could be having, the best you could be handed to you and can still do something that, you know. And there's so many people who have picked up guns lately, not just his son. I mean, so many people who have picked up guns and shot and killed somebody. There's a young man, I understand they finally picked him up, who shot into a crowd of people at 6th and Woodbine Street, and a young lady got hit, and she was pregnant. And so
Yeah.
both her and her baby are, now deceased. And now this young guy too, he's probably gonna have his life, I bring all that up because they're trying this 13-year-old boy as an adult at this point. That's what they're saying. They have him out there at Dauphin County Prison. And I know Basil is just beside himself. He's trying to find a good attorney and all that. So, you know, we've given him some suggestions and everything, and I'm sure he's going to need more than just that. So folks who really care, and I do care for the brother, you don't want to see this happen to anybody. And here it is, you know, we're going to celebrate Father's Day on Sunday. And this brother's been a good father to his kids, based on everything that I've seen. He's tried. I want to read a piece here that I did, you know, a little while back, and it's out of this book of mine called, you know, Stories of African American Struggles and Achievements That Feed the Soul. And this piece is simply called Keep Youth Out of Adult Prisons. It says, the practice of placing youth offenders in adult jails and prisons has long-term impact, both on the individual youth offender and our society. A recent article in the National Juvenile Justice Network newsletter stated the following: currently, an estimated 250,000 youth are tried, sentenced, or incarcerated as adults every year across the United States. So during the 1990s, the era when many of our most punitive criminal justice practices and policies were developed, 49 states altered their laws to increase the number of minors being tried as adults. On any given day, 10,000 youth are detained or incarcerated in adult jails and prisons. Studies show that youth held in adult facilities are 36 times more likely to commit suicide and are at the greatest risk of sexual victimization. Youth of color are overrepresented in the ranks of juveniles being referred to adult court. In 2008, the U.S. Department of Justice and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that transferring youth to the adult criminal justice system does not protect the community and substantially increases the likelihood that youth will be reoffended. Reoffended. So NJJN recommends that all youth be processed through juvenile court. And hello, Lizelle, how you doing? Good to see you. It says, I fully agree with the final conclusion of the National Juvenile Justice Network. We must keep our youth out of adult courts, jails, and prisons. The impact is too great to ignore. I've had firsthand experience with this subject matter on several different fronts. My wife, Patricia Gadsden, founder and director of Life Esteem Incorporated, and I had the honor of working with the Pennsylvania Prison Society in the 1990s and early 2000s. We taught parenting classes for 5 years at Camp Hill State Prison, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. I remember one of the correctional officers saying to us that the worst period of time for him on the job was the early mid-1900s. He talked about the 1990s, talked about the young offenders that were placed in this adult facility being some of the most violent, not caring about life people he had ever encountered. He also said that many of them were greatly abused physically and mentally by the adult offenders on a daily basis. So I enjoyed being the host of a Saturday night radio program on WMSP FM at Market Square Presbyterian Church in Harrisburg. For 3 hours on each Saturday night, I played soul music, interviewed interesting people, and provided a bit of community news. One of the unexpected benefits of that program was the realization that my program was reaching many of the jails and prisons in Pennsylvania. I started getting calls and letters from inmates and correctional officers requesting that I give a shout out to family and friends of the inmates. My show became a way for families to connect, especially those separated by great distance. One night, a young white man in his late 20s, early 30s, came to the station to let me know how much he appreciated my show. He had just been released from Camp Hill Prison. He was sentenced there at the age of 14 for murder and manslaughter. He was a 400-pound youth who was picked on by his next-door neighbor, an adult male who took great pleasure teasing him. One day they got into a physical fight. He told me the man beat him up pretty badly until he was able to get the man on the ground, and he sat on the man's chest. The man could not breathe and he died. At 14 years old, he was placed in an adult prison where he was picked on, sexually abused, and beat up more times than he could remember. His purpose for coming to the station was to give me a hand reading the letters and taking calls from the prisons. I quickly realized that at the end of each show, he wanted to give a special shout out to one particular person. He told me that it was this person that saved his life while in prison. He was not much older than himself, but he was tough as nails. It was also clear that my quote unquote helper had become his protector's property while incarcerated, and there was a mental and spiritual toll that he was dealing with because of the relationship. He also shared with me other such situations that he had witnessed firsthand of youth offenders being taken advantage of. We can stop this unjust practice against our youth. We must keep our youth out of adult courts, jails, and prisons for their safety and ours. And I'll just leave it go right there. So anyhow, when I think about the young man who, again, we've watched him, as Nanette said, grow up, literally, right before our eyes. And he was at every event, everything. And it wasn't like he, was not exposed. He was exposed. But something went awry because about a month ago, he ran away and he was missing for a few days to a week. And then that was all on Facebook and everything. Then he came back and seemed like things were going well. Then all of a sudden we hear this. And it's just a sad story. But unfortunately, it's not the only story, right? There's
Yeah.
so many young people out there who are, as I said, 10,000 every day are facing adult prisons and stuff. And the young man that came down to the station, like I said, he's only 14 when he went into prison. He said, and you can't describe the horror that he went through until found this guy stepped up and, kind of protected him, so to speak. Anyhow, let's pray for those folks. Let's do more, let's pray, let's lift it up, let's write about it, let's talk about it. And just recently, they released a lot of people from some of the sentences they received. I don't know if anyone's aware of this, but they have thousands of people who were sentenced to long prison terms. Some of them life sentences for things that they did when they were juveniles. And so that means their life is like over, right? Hey, we can do better. And as I said, we're trying to protect them, but also us, because when they do get out, sometimes these guys are ready. They're so bitter, so angry, they mask it very well. And then they can't get a job. The next thing you know, they're unleashed. Okay. And that's why the recidivism is so high. So anyhow, that's my soapbox. But
So
anyhow,
what do you think can be done about that? I mean, far as
advocate.
some of these young people that don't care about life or maybe they were abused or something happened or something snapped, but where do you think they should be put? I mean,
right now, and I go out every Wednesday, and I'm understand this because I do it, but I go out every Wednesday to the ARC program. ARC was started by Mike Elby, and then Dan Elby, his brother, helped out. For years, they ran that program from the 70s until just recently where they, but the ARC still exists. So I have some 15 young men that I talk to every Wednesday that I go. And so does Angela Bates, and so does so many other people. You have a gentleman there by the name of Duffin, Mr. Duffin, who's been there since 1977. He grew up right here in Harrisburg, John Harris product. And then you have another brother who actually runs the whole program by the name of Mr. Lewis, and they got their hands full. But are
they violent kids, or did they commit murder or what? These kids,
all of them. Just name it. These are the ones you're talking about. And they're good guys. They're good guys in a lot of ways, but they're kids who've committed some crimes. So they all have ankle bracelets on, the monitors on. They go to this, and here's how that works for them. And they're lucky because they're not behind bars. But what happens is they go home around 9 o'clock. They have to be in because they had ankle monitors. They get up and go to school, and then they're picked up from school by the program. And they're in the program from, let's say, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And they have to go through the whole regimen. When I'm there, in comes the probation officers, police officers, whatever they are. They got the guns, the this, that. Some of these dudes look like they're 9 feet tall. I mean, they come in there ready, and they have to deal with these kids. They talk to them, they go one-on-one. And one young man spoke up the other day, this past Wednesday, and he said, I wish I had not had a gun when I committed my crime. And then they all looked at each other and said, well, we all had guns just about, And so that's one of the biggies. By the way, the young man that they're talking about, 2 weeks ago, down at right across from the fountain at the Capitol, Mackenzie Brown and all of that, group of his, the Black Network, they had a big, event. So you had all these here vendors and people singing and everything else. Brother Chris Thomas, who runs the station, they did an event, and it was a Christian event, and so they were there at the same time. So Brother Chris can tell you how many people were there and everything. When I was with them on Wednesday, they said, "Oh, I don't know if you know Mr." And they kept saying Talib, and I kept thinking that sounds familiar. Of course, I know Basil, but anyhow, they said he spoke to them that day and was talking to this group of young men because he knows the kind of trouble they're in, and he gave them a lecture. And he said, "By the way, a lot of you know my son. My son is kind of out there." He said, "And so when you see my son, encourage him to do the right thing, and just tell him to stay on the right path." And a couple of days later, his son shoots and kills this boy. He just got through talking to these guys, and these guys are like, psh. By the way, the other young man who they just picked up, and I won't call his name, but anyhow, he was part of the program. And so they said, "Well, you remember that?" No, I didn't know. It's just, I see the faces, I know them, when I see them, but hey, I didn't try to keep the names and all that stuff.
So
But
where are
yeah,
the guns coming from, and where are they getting these guns?
come on, we've been asking that question for how many years now? How old are we?
I mean, is it set up for the Black kids to just take a gun and shoot another Black kid? Is it set up that way or something?
Well, they're buying these guns off of people that had the ability to bring the guns in here. Let's be honest about it. By the way, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg has one of the largest gun shows in the country.
Oh yeah.
One of the largest. They just talked about that. And by the way, when they decided after, there was a big thing about banning guns and that kind of stuff. Remember, they pulled out of Harrisburg for that 1 year, and then they've come back, and they've come back strong. So go over to the farm show when they had the gun show and see who shows up. You don't see us there. Come on now. The few of us that are there, the hunters and people that, but they come in with bus loads. I actually was over there because I was doing something else. I wasn't in the farm show. I just was outside of it and just watching the people flow in there. Unbelievable. So years ago, and then I'll get off of this because I want Nazil to do a poem for us. Years ago, they actually challenged. They said, "Well, you have to have this and have that for gun." And in channel 27, I'm pretty sure it was 27, said, "Let us show you how easy it is to buy guns." So they wanted to challenge that. They took a 19-year-old man, gave him some money. He goes into the farm show and comes back out with like 7 guns. And they said, "Wait a minute, how did you buy those guns? Because didn't you have to sign it? Didn't you have to?" And he said,
Background check or something? No.
"All of that you have to do." But guess what? He went into that farm show and came out with 6 guns. He had the money, he got the gun. And so you want to know how it's done? Like that. Unfortunate, unfortunate. The right person to talk to, and this and that, and it's just it's a crying shame, And then today, the Supreme Court said the bump thing is not illegal. Now they made it legal again. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, I can speak on that in DC because I worked with at-risk youth, and one of the things they used to do in the neighborhood is that a vehicle would come into the neighborhood, white guy, and he opened up his trunk, and they would, buy the guns from him. There were certain neighborhoods where they knew the neighborhoods to go to where the gangs were.
Yeah.
And they will pull up in the vehicle and open up the trunk and sell gun, whatever they want.
There you go.
They had all the guns you wanted, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Back then, like with AK-47s and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they had all that. They come right into the neighborhood. So you had to go no gun show. They pull right up into the neighborhood and do that. And so that's
today, on the news, they were talking about how the Supreme Court reversed this ban, and they said the guy who brought the lawsuit was a black guy. They show you him in his house. He had up on his wall all these guns. He said, "I went out there and bought this, and now they're going to tell me I can't use it." And he was furious, He's the one that went to the Supreme Court. Now think about this. We have all this here carnage in the black community, and a black man wants to get the gun with the bump, and they said, well, it only shoots one bullet at a time. And the guy who invented the thing did a demonstration. He said it shoots one bullet at a time unless you hold the trigger. If you hold the trigger, it shoots 600 rounds within a minute. They said, yeah, but a machine gun shoots 900 rounds, so it's really not a machine gun. You know how many people you can kill by shooting 600 bullets in a minute? I'm done. Lizelle, how you doing? You're muted right now. What's going on there? I'm glad to see you tonight.
I had a little issue with the internet. I had no internet when I'm about to come on around 8 after. So I had to call Optimum, the cable people, and internet people,
Wow.
and they had to reboot and restart everything all over. So
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you have a poem for us tonight.
yeah, I wrote one today.
Good. I love it. That is great. That should be the title of one of your books. I wrote one today.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And just put all your collection together, you know?
All
Wow.
right.
If you do one, then I'll have Dr. Dan do one again, and then, we'll keep doing round robin, okay?
Okay, this one is called, it's a Trini poem. Just as what you all were speaking about is something about the guns.
Mhm.
So it's called, Am I a proud Trinbagonian? Well, I can't believe this. Not even by the standpipe I could go, wait, another one? Oh, geez, that is my neighbor.
Hold on, friend.
That man is a good man. He is married and his wife just had a baby. What? He was in the gang thing? Nah, I don't believe that. You lie. But he was a nice man. You know, he really used to be flashing the gold. And then the other day he buy a new car. I thought to myself, where he getting this money from? But look at, he dead. And the family nice. Boy, I am speechless. These guns, where they coming from? The guns making mass all over the place. The guns on the loose. Should I say I am proud of my country? Should I recommend tourists to come to my country? Should I talk about the carnival and the steel band and all the niceness? Should I talk about the Caroni Swamp and the bird sanctuary? What about the beaches in Sweet Tobago? Should I tell them about these things when I'm running for my life? Should I tell them about the mud volcanoes and the pitch lake, the same pitch that pitch the road even here, that cars driving on? What should I say? What? Listen, I'm not going to say anything. I want them to come. I want them to come and see sweet TNT.
Wow.
Go
Did
ahead.
that actually happen? A neighbor?
No, well, for this whole week, I've been listening to the news in my country, and that's how it is with gunshots, the neighbors getting killed.
Wow.
And when you hear it, they involve in some kind of gang, some kind of, rivalry.
It's
Right
everywhere.
now, they have a kind of turf thing going on. If you can't go in this one turf because you don't belong there, and they walk in the streets with the gun. If you're not belonging in that area, don't go there. Because they will question you, they will want to know what you doing here, who you come to see. This is what's going on right now in the country. And another thing that is happening, which is so sad, that people coming home from work or wherever they come in, and as they get out the car to open the gate to drive in, bandits come in to hold them up,
Yeah.
Where is
beating
this
them up and taking their cars.
Mhm.
Where is this at, Zazil?
In Trinidad, that's my
Trinidad, really? Wow.
You know, so the crime situation is so, I mean, all over have crime, but I mean, a small island. Just the other day, there is something called Crime Watch that I normally look at, and the guy was comparing America to Trinidad, and I think he said for last year alone in New York, it was just about 300 and something killing. We was close to that, and we are such a dot on the map. We are so small, you know. The rate was very high for the murders last year. You know, as you all were talking about the guns, I don't know where these people get these guns. I don't know what is going on. So it's the same thing all over the country. They're blaming the government, they're blaming the government, they're blaming the government. And I don't believe the government have the final, I don't think the government can solve that problem. And they feel that if somebody else come into power, it will change. It will not change. It will be the same thing.
Well, listen, I appreciate the poem and I appreciate the passion. I appreciate you doing that piece because that's a powerful piece. I mean, here's the thing though, figure out a way to publish that or get that seen because people need to hear that. You know, when we write these things, you know, the question becomes, how do we get it out, you know, so that people can, you know, hear it. A lot of stuff we read inspires us to move, you know. So that was very good. I want to get Dr. Dan in one more time. I know he's been on, and so he did a piece for us already. Dan, can you do a piece for us? I know we're going to be running out of time.
Yeah, sure.
Soon.
Sure.
Okay.
This is the one I didn't quite finish last week, but now here it is completed.
No.
Okay.
Introduced to another poetry venue. When I take part in poetry events, the path traveled is most familiar. Now another door for this is opened. Though I first found the fair most peculiar. My poetic creations had been crafted at Nathaniel Gadsden's Writer's Wordshop. Here, both in live time and aided by Zoom, creativity rules the day nonstop. The Writer's Wordshop has treated me well, allowing for myriads of entries, yet I learned of a similar venue that could serve as one for the centuries. The Almost Uptown Poetry Cartel was the original name of this group. The Blacklisted Poets of Harrisburg is a new nomenclature for these troops. When first entering these waters, I was not really sure what to expect, whether or not my works would fit the mold, also if they be worthy of respect. Most works herein were profanity-laced, read by those with compromised attitudes, yet my style was aptly accepted here, giving me a sense of sound fortitude. At first, I participated monthly, engaging in this newer atmosphere, sharing many ideas along the way, all parties making their cases quite clear. Now I'm considered a regular, my poems providing much to savor. The Blacklisted Poets of Harrisburg is another verse venue to favor.
Excellent.
All right.
Good. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Certainly.
Now, Nanette, did you have another piece you want to lift up?
No, well, I guess I can do this real quick.
Okay.
It's about hope.
Uh-huh.
I wrote this in 2013. You gave me hope. I didn't have to worry. You gave me hope. I didn't have to be in despair. You gave me hope just by your words. You gave me hope just by your smile. You gave me hope when you took me by my hand. You gave me hope, knowing that I wasn't alone. You gave me hope. It was a monetary gift. You gave me hope when you said you'd be my friend. You gave me hope, and you were there until the end, God.
All right. That's beautiful. Yeah.
But I want to say real quickly what I saw the other day when I was coming home over in the projects there. It was like 7 or 8 kids, and they had water pistols, guns, you know.
Mhm.
And something just went through me because I said, I hope the next step is not the real thing. Because they
Yeah.
were just, it was like a little gang there with these
Mhm.
water pistol guns. You
Yeah.
know, when we were coming up, you know, it was water pistol, it was water. You
Yeah.
know, we didn't think about no next step of, you know, this gun business. But anyway, I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, but that's real though, yeah. But Brother Neil, thank you so much, man. If you're still there, thank you so much for coming on. Neil was the first one on tonight, and I appreciate him. He has his book coming out in August, by the way, and it's The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, I think he says, and I appreciate that. Sister Dazille, I hope that you will publish that piece that you just read, because
Yeah,
that's really powerful and it's needed and necessary. And I hope you send it to your country somehow, maybe get it in one of the newspapers over there or something. Someone needs to wake them up, you know. And then that I like that piece you read. I said that you ought to get that published. I'm serious about that.
thank
Really,
you.
really good stuff. And I always encourage Brother Dan he has enough poetry now to have a book out. Just got to make it happen, Dan. Come on, man. I think that'd be great.
Mhm.
We didn't have Ro Brady on tonight, but Ro has brought out her next poetry book. I think it's actually published now and,
Oh,
and
okay.
finished. Yeah, she said she noticed a little mistake in something, so she wants it done. But that's cool. So she got that redone, and
She gonna be there
that's
tomorrow?
enough for her. I don't know. I hope so. I think
Oh,
she
okay.
said that her and Maria will hopefully will be there tomorrow, and also
Okay.
maybe Wendy too. Yeah, I hope they do. But yeah, I hope y'all all will come out, and we're gonna try to have it on. I'm gonna try to put it up and have it on the Facebook Live for large portions and stuff. So be able to check it out. Lizelle, good seeing you. Dan,
Yep,
good seeing you.
Brazil.
Brother, Brother Neil, and also, of course, Nanette. Thank you all. And thank you to Brother Chris Thomas for all
Thank you,
that you do,
Chris.
man, to make this happen. Appreciate you, brother. So God bless you all. Have yourself a
Yep.
great day and see you tomorrow,
See you
hopefully.
tomorrow.
Over at Ben Franklin Elementary School, 1205 North 6th Street in Harrisburg from 10 to 5. It's going to be live. Okay.
Everybody be
See you now.
blessed.
Be blessed.
Bye. All right, next year, hopefully I'll be there.
Excellent. Excellent. I hope so.